Kia ora and welcome to the Prep Files. Yeah, we're pretty low, slow, and all the rest of it today. So I'm going to hand over to Mike and let him kick off.
As usual, I've got a little bit more energy than Nate because I'm still, well, you could say I'm 4 weeks behind, but you could say I'm about 10 months behind actually. So yeah, I'm still doing okay. And tomorrow would be my halfway, 7 weeks down, 7 to go until NABBA Nationals. So it's not even supposed to be hard yet, is it? No. This week, from a mechanical perspective, dropped a couple hundred calories, had a pretty good body fat drop on Saturday, but whether that was reflective of an actual body fat drop or just a kind of a make-up for the error from the week before, you know, like I didn't get a drop the week before, got a pretty decent drop this time. So, you know, you smooth that out over time and things are tracking down pretty well. Didn't drop too much weight, about 0.7 of a kilo or something. But I still have these crazy things going on. Like the day after my check-in, I dropped 1.8 kilos overnight. Which, you know, obviously sort of messes with your head a little bit because you think, oh, if I drop that again and again and again, I'll be, you know, 80 kilos by the end of next week. But that kind of came back on, and I think, you know, I'll see on the check-in tomorrow, but I'm only down half a kilo or something this week. Haven't seen too much more going on with respect to condition, that sort of thing. I know that I'm not flat, but I don't feel great. I'll kind of look in the mirror. I've got big windows and it's dark outside, so I open up the curtains so they act like a mirror, and I'll kind of look in the mirror and kind of yeah, no, I don't know about that. But then once I start training and once I start posing and stuff, things sort of pop out and it sort of looks a little bit better. I'm gonna kind of show you a little bit where my head's at by reading a couple of text messages that I sent Nate this week. So one on Sunday was found meal 5 in the microwave after I finished meal 6. No wonder I was hungry. So that was kind of where my head was at. I was like, oh, we're getting real hungry. So I jumped into meal 6 a little bit earlier, and then found meal 5 in the microwave. So no wonder I was hungry. Missed meal 6. I missed meal 5. So, and the other one I sent him on Tuesday. It was in the morning. I said, is this prep head or lockdown head? Pre-shower, I thought I might have to do men's physique. Post-shower in the goon lighting, yeah, I've got this. Now I'm dressed as Batman. So I spent the day dressed as Batman on Tuesday. So I don't know whether I'm going stir crazy from the lockdown or whether it's, you know, weeks into prep or whatever. But things, yeah, are tracking along really nicely from a sort of mechanical perspective. But a conversation I had with Nate sort of sparked me to sort of go in a slightly different direction this week. He was talking about, I think I'll probably misquote him, but he was talking to some guys at the gym who were saying, he was sort of saying, oh, it's pretty tough, you know, dieting. And I go, oh, you make it look so easy. And I guess we try and put a positive spin on everything. Everything we've done on this, you know, South Pacific Muscle's been, you know, positive, you know, try and put a positive spin on things. But it kind of just reminded me, like everybody knows that social media tends to be, you know, you put on your best self and you put on your best face. You know, that's all well and good, but it's fucking hard, you know, like prepping for a competition is really hard. Now, that's not to say I'm not complaining. I'm not kind of, you know, poor me. That's like I hate, there's a personality type that I call a poor me type where everything's a problem and they just sort of suck your will to live by kind of talking about how terrible things are. And, you know, you try and sort of empathize with them and they just kind of keep complaining about how bad things are. And I never want to be that kind of person to sort of complain about stuff too much or talk about how difficult things are. But by the same token, when we put a positive spin on everything all the time, it makes it seem like it's easy. And it's not. It's really fucking hard. And people who have competed before, only people who've done competitions before kind of know what that's like to kind of put yourself through that. So you've got a certain affinity with other people who've competed. Like when you meet someone who've done competitions, you know, you're sort of like, yeah, you know, because, you know, only other people who know about that are people who've been through that, you know, week after week after week on the grind, you know. So we are trying to be really positive all the time, trying to put a positive spin on everything. But I guess I wanted to just counterbalance that a little bit with the fact that it is fucking hard. And when we talk about how difficult it is, or say, you know, problems that we've had or how hard it's been, it doesn't mean that we are ready to chuck it in. It doesn't mean that we don't want to do it anymore. It doesn't mean that, you know, we're being forced or victimized into anything. It's just, it is hard. And it's good to be able to kind of share and say, actually, things are fucking tough. You know, like in my house, I've got 3 kids to look after and my wife's prepping as well. And she's, you know, a bit ahead of me. So she's tighter than I am. So sometimes I feel like I'm kind of picking up a little bit more of the slack than I kind of need to. And things are really tough. but you choose to do it, and I choose to be in it. And part of the thing I'm most proud of when it comes to competition is not the physique that I put on stage, but about the mental strength that it takes to kind of get yourself there. The other people from outside bodybuilding think it's about the physical, and to some degree it is. But to me, it's more the mental side of things. You know, you're kind of putting yourself through Chinese water torture, you know, week after week after week. And at any given time, you can just go, you know what, I think I'm going to sleep in tomorrow and not do cardio. I'm going to have a big feed of carbs and, you know, I'll feel a whole lot better. But you choose not to. You choose to keep yourself depleted. You choose to keep yourself down, and you choose to get up after, you know, 4 or 5 hours broken sleep and do your cardio, and you choose to do that. And it takes an enormous amount of mental strength to do that. And so that's the thing I guess I'm most proud of. I guess I want to just kind of put out there that, you know, when it is tough, it's okay to say that it's tough. When you're having a bad day, it's okay to kind of talk about that bad day, even on social media, because, you know, it's not always rainbows and butterflies, and sometimes you just need to vent a little bit. And so me and Nate are pretty good. We'll bounce, you know, like when we're having bad days, we'll sort of bounce off each other, I suppose, which means it doesn't make it to Instagram or Facebook or whatever. But, you know, it is a tough thing to go through, and you have some good days and you have some bad days. I got pretty hungry a little bit this week. I got a bit tired this week, but fortunately, still being on lockdown, I got to have a few afternoon naps and sort of get myself through that way. I don't know what it's going to be like when I have to go back to work, and I'm going to actually work all day on these sort of level of carbs, but we'll kind of see how that goes. So I just encourage people out there, just, you know, be there for each other. Don't feel like you've always got to put a positive spin on everything all the time. Don't judge someone by a sort of a negative comment, or a, you know, if they're feeling like shit and something comes across negative, it's not their whole personality. It's not their whole life. It's not, you know, don't read it for any more than it is. Just, you know, someone having a bad day and just needing to kind of get that off their chest. So be there for each other, lift each other up and help each other through. That's my kind of esoteric kind of side tangent there.
Nice one, Mike. Nice one. I'm definitely going to make some commentary around that when it gets to my turn, but I'll hand over to Sydney first. Sydney, how's things?
I want to say good, but I'm going to take a leaf out of Mike's page and say it's been a bit shit and just be absolutely real with you guys. So Mike, everything that you said, oh my goodness, it just completely resonated with me. So I've got so much stuff to say, but for this week, but I'd just like to start off by saying that our partners, our families, they're the real MVPs here. Like, they push us, they help us so much. Like, my partner just tells me to suck it up, and he just will always be there for me. I complain about him eating my Cocoa Puffs all the time. I complain about it all, about how much I'm going to bury his body in the backyard. But at the end of the day, he's there for me. And at times I'll say to him, like today, I said to him mid-workout, like, you know what? I actually don't want to do this anymore. Like, I want to text Jordan and say, I quit. Like, why am I doing this to myself? And Craig was just like, suck it up. You know, he's not even in bodybuilding. He doesn't do bodybuilding at all. He thinks I'm absolutely crazy. Everyone around me who doesn't do bodybuilding thinks I'm absolutely insane. But yet here he is supporting my goals because he knows how important it is to me. Like, I have my workmates, obviously before lockdown, they'll be like, oh, just have some of this, you know, or just have a bite of this. No one will know. And it's like, well, you don't understand, you know, like, this is my life. Like, this, it's just a bite to you, but for me, it's, you know, it's huge. So they don't really see it. So this week prep, it's been, I'm not complaining, but I'm just telling you the realities of prep. It's been hard. I felt that I've been getting really dizzy quite a bit. If I stand up too fast, if I go up a hill, walk up a hill for my cardio too much, then I start getting really dizzy, really faint. but I know that that's because obviously I'm not putting in as much fuel into my body. So that's just the reality of it. And oh, I didn't cook my rice properly. I don't know how rice could do it to you and be so bad. Like, rice did me dirty, boys. It really did. I got the world's worst food poisoning the other day, and I just vomited my whole day worth of food. It was like coming up from the top, coming down below. It was not pretty at all. It was awful. But the next day, I just carried on with the plan, because that's all you can do. Just carry on. Just be like, that happened. Next. Last week, Mike, you pointed it out, but I can see it this week a lot more. My energy level is just gone. I'm tired all the time. Like, I can hear it in my voice now. Like, I'm just tired. I'm now 15 weeks into this prep of being in a deficit. Tomorrow's my check-in, and it's been like 15 weeks of just low food, like with the odd sushi thrown in here and there, but still low food. And so it has been a bit of a struggle. I've got check-in tomorrow. My weight has stagnated. It's stopped, so I'm stuck at 63 kg. I have been for the past 2 weeks, which is a bit off. Jordan has given me lovely sprints, interval sprints, so I die at that. And I mentioned this earlier on, but I'm getting a lot more colder now as well. Like, I'm cold all the time. I'm sitting in front of the fireplace and I'm still cold. And also I don't know about you boys, but because obviously my body fat's going down, it feels really weird. Like, my knees feel really knobbly. So when I sleep on my side, I'm like, my knees are touching and it's just like bony. And I'm like, oh, that feels weird. But I honestly, like, both you, Nate, and Mike, you guys have been doing this for so many years. I applaud you so much. Last week I said prep life was like getting kicked in the balls, but you guys are like, oh yeah, let's do that again, but let's take learnings from last time, maybe a little bit to the left and a little bit harder up, you know. So that's how I kind of see prep. It's just like this form of self-torture that you guys have gone through. So I definitely applaud you guys to it, and I applaud all the people that support us through this prep, who don't know anything about bodybuilding yet still support us. So big shout out to you guys. Thank you.
Nice. No, that's really cool. Listening to that. Yeah, Mike, on your point, I do try to put a pretty positive sort of thing across, but I'm 13 and a half, 14 months into dieting, with only 10 weeks of that 14 months in surplus. So it's been a long grind. This week, fair to say, I had a mozzer. I had a meltdown. I was really rude to someone, and I'm never like that. And it wasn't because I was angry or anything like that. I've become quite detached with things, and I really don't give a fuck about anyone or anything else other than getting through this fucking prep and surviving. And that's really sad, because I'm not that kind of person. I try to be really empathetic and caring and all those things, and try and be a good person. But I guess every now and then, when you feel like you're surviving, and, this week, the highest amount of carbs I've had is 100 grams of carbs in a day. I've been down to 60. I'm doing 80 minutes cardio plus training, and the training is starting to get really hard. Like, my performance is really suffering in the workouts and that. So I know that it's the my kind of mood and attitude and all those sort of things is really just stemming from the fact that, I'm at such a low point. But I also know that I need to be this low and my body needs to be flat for a sustained period of time for me to get that last bit of fat off. So I kind of think that I'm probably, if I had to, I could get on stage in 3 weeks' time. But really, I'm probably about 5 or 6 weeks out from being where I need to be. So there's that last little bit, sort of to get off. From a physical perspective, getting a lot of changes, so the new lines, etc., coming in. My face is slowly, I've got what I call monkey face. So I get the lines down here, and then in another couple of weeks, it'll collapse and I'll have death face. So at this stage, I'm not quite there. I've still got a bit of fat to lose. But yeah, it has been pretty tough. I've been pretty upbeat in that, but just a bit short with people. And I sent out some pretty rough emails today, I've got to admit. So I've got to be a bit cautious on that. I haven't taken to day napping yet, so I've obviously got a bit left in me. But this week going forward, I'm going to aim to be a lot more positive and a lot more chirpy and, just enjoy the experience, because I always say you've got to enjoy the experience, even the bad stuff, because you learn a lot about yourself. If you take the time to reflect on it and the way you're acting and the way, physically things are happening with your body. So I already know a couple of lessons this week. I've learned some good lessons, and I like learning lessons. It's a good thing. So this week has been really productive from a physique point of view. We're tightening up. Body weight's only dropping by about 100 grams a day every day, even on pretty low carbs. So it may be time to load up again soon, but we'll see. I don't think the chopping and changing of all the competitions has helped anyone's headspace. But it's good that we've got some surety now about competition. So it's I've now loosely got plans, because I do have work commitments which are going to rule out anything in November, really. So my decisions have sort of been made for me after 15 months. By the time we get to that point, I'm definitely going to get on stage. I don't really care where, but I will get on stage. So I've only got a couple of options there. So I will confirm those fairly shortly, and then we'll go from there. But other than that, it's been a pretty good week, apart from my little meltdown. And for the person I had a meltdown to, look, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean it. It really didn't. It was just a flippant comment. But to everyone else out there, look, if you're going through prep and it is getting pretty tough, it's kind of normal. So, just run with it and try to be good to those people around you, because they do a shitload more than you realise. And Sydney, you pointed it out. Hey, I've got to say, I do know, I did a mic though, we left his meal in there. I said to him, oh, Cindy can do the podcast that's right, her name's Sydney.
Oh, God.
So my brain's really not right quite
You've been
there.
watching too many of the lockdown aunties, Dazzy.
Oh, I've been doing something. Anyway, guys, stay safe out there. Have a great week, and we will touch base with you going forward. Peace out.